सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Whenever we talk about dynasts, what's the first image that comes to your mind? Rahul Gandhi, of course. And then we start thinking of others from the Congress and opposition parties. It's almost reflexive. We have heard so much about dynastic rule from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other BJP leaders that it has become synonymous with the opposition. The fact is that every party has its quota of dynasts. The BJP is no exception. What I'm going to discuss in this episode of Politically Correct is how some dynasts in the BJP make it big and how many others remain sidelined. I'm usually on the side of the underprivileged, and so in this episode I'm going to talk about the lesser mortals, or you may call them have-nots among these dynasts. Let me start with Karnataka. Former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa is drawing sympathy from a section of his party colleagues. He really worked hard for 4 decades to single-handedly make BJP the force that it is in Karnataka today. The High Command wanted him to bring down the Congress-JDS government in 2019. He did. They wanted him to resign as CM 2 years later. He did. Yet, the 80-year-old leader is virtually groveling for an assembly seat for his younger son and heir apparent, B.Y. Vijayendra. His other son, Raghavendra, as you know, is already a parliamentarian. Raghavendra had first entered the Lok Sabha way back in 2019, long before Narendra Modi came to the centre stage in Delhi. BSY has opted out of electoral politics to pass on his assembly seat, Shikaripura, which he won 8 times, to Vijayendra. He has declared his wish publicly, but the High Command is keeping the party's most popular leader in Karnataka on tenterhooks. They would rather have Vijayendra contest from Varuna, which will actually pit him against former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Yediyurappa's detractors in Delhi had already managed to deny his son's nomination to the Legislative Council. They now want Vijayendra to leave his father's safe seat to contest from a tough one. And you know why. No wonder BSY has announced his son's candidature from Shikaripura, seeking to preempt any surprise from the High Command when the list comes. So why is it that the heir apparent of the most popular BJP leader in Karnataka should face such resistance from Delhi leadership if he wants to enter the Legislative Council or the Assembly? Is it PM Modi's public stance against dynastic politics? But the BJP is as much a dynastic party today as the Congress. Except the fact that the Congress is controlled by a family. Look at the number of dynasts in the Modi cabinet. You can count them on fingers. Piyush Goyal, Dharmendra Pradhan, Anurag Thakur, Nirmala Sitharaman, Kiran Rijiju, and Thakur and Scindia, of course. Just to name a few. Here is a link of our story on BJP dynast that we did last year. You can have a look at it. There are so many of them at the center and in every state. But coming back to the dynast we are talking about, the lesser mortals, let's look at another example. Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah installed Samrat Chaudhary as Bihar BJP chief last month. It was hailed as a master stroke, Chaudhary belongs to the politically influential Kushwaha community. Kushwahas and Kurmis constitute the so-called Love Kush vote bank of Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Samrat Chaudhary happens to be another dynast. He is the son of veteran politician Shakuni Chaudhary, who was once very close to Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar. In fact, Samrat Chaudhary was also close to Lalu and Nitish and was in fact part of the Rabri Devi-led cabinet in Bihar. Think of how the new Bihar BJP chief, who was part of Rabri Devi government, would talk about Jangal Raj, the BJP's catchiest slogan to denounce Lalu Rabri government for 15 years. So what did it tell us? Being a dynast, a turncoat, a part of the so-called Jangal Raj regime, nothing matters in the BJP if you can bring votes. But even that is not necessarily the criterion. When former Union Minister C.P. Thakur's term in the Rajya Sabha ended in 2020, the BJP nominated his son, Vivek Thakur, in his place. What did Vivek bring to the table? Even Bihar BJP leaders were scratching their heads to figure it out. In the case of Yediyurappa, of course, he remains the party's biggest vote catcher in Karnataka. It's not for nothing that the party is bending over backwards not to upset him. That's why when PM Modi, during his 5th of the 7 visits to Karnataka in the last 3 months, when he held BSY's hands, the picture went viral on the social media. That's why when Amit Shah had breakfast with Yediyurappa, when he patted his son Vijayendra on the back and insisted on accepting a bouquet from him, they made headlines in Karnataka. A fortnight back, when BSY had declared that his son would contest from Shikaripura, C.T. Ravi, BJP National General Secretary, took a jibe at him. Decisions are not made in the kitchen in our party, said C.T. Ravi, who was once a minister under Yediyurappa, not long ago. What Ravi was saying was that it's not BSY but the BJP which will decide Shikaripura candidate. It must have upset BSY, but he did not react. Can the BJP afford to snub Yediyurappa by denying Shikaripura seat to Vijayendra? That's the question the party high command must be discussing today. Vijayendra is fortunate. He has his father on his side. Utpal Parrikar, son of former defense minister and former Goa chief minister Manohar Parrikar, was not so fortunate when he wanted to take a plunge into electoral politics. After Manohar Parrikar's death, his son staked claim to his father's political legacy and sought BJP ticket to contest the Panaji Assembly bypoll. His father has represented that seat for over 2 decades. The BJP High Command chose to deny the ticket to Utpal Parrikar. Finally, the BJP lost the bypoll in Panaji, a seat that the party had held for 25 years. Congress's Atanasio Montserrat, who won that bypoll, went on to join the BJP. Again, in the 2022 Assembly election, Utpal sought BJP ticket to contest from his father's seat. It was the second time. It was denied again. Finally, Utpal quit the BJP to contest as an independent candidate. He lost by just around 700 votes to Montserrat. Obviously, Manohar Parrikar's son would have stood a very good chance if the BJP had given him the ticket. But the party decided not to. Vijayendra and Utpal are not the only children of former chief ministers whose ambitions to inherit their father's or their parents' political legacy don't get approval of the BJP High Command. Former Chhattisgarh CM Raman Singh's son, Abhishek, has been in political wilderness since the BJP denied him a ticket in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. In the 2014 Lok Sabha election, Abhishek had won the Rajnandgaon seat, Lok Sabha seat, once represented by his father. He had won that seat by 2.35 lakh votes, the biggest victory margin in that state. Following the BJP's rout in the assembly election in 2018, the High Command was very upset with Raman Singh. They decided to drop all BJP's 10 sitting MPs from Chhattisgarh, including Abhishek. So in 2019, the BJP won his seat, Rajnandgaon. But the BJP's victory margin went down to about 1.12 lakh. Less than half of what Abhishek had delivered. Let's look at another case. Former Rajasthan CM Vasundhara Raje's son, Dushyant Singh. He has been a 4-term MP from Jhalawar Bara, winning 4 consecutive elections since his electoral debut in 2004. The BJP High Command has not thought it fit to make him a minister or give him any organizational responsibility. Another example, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh's son, Pankaj, he retained his Noida seat in the 2022 UP Assembly election with one of the biggest victory margins, 1.81 lakh votes. His party colleagues rate him as a very bright young politician. But the former UP CM's son must remain content with his latest appointment as one of 18 UP BJP vice presidents, basically a ceremonial post. There's a lot of curiosity in Madhya Pradesh about Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan's son, Kartikeya Singh's political activities in his father's constituency, Budni. Kartikeya has been travelling extensively in villages. Since 2018, when he had addressed a rally in Kolaras, which was going for bypolls, that was his first political event outside Budni, his father's constituency. Since then, there has been an intense speculation about his electoral debut. In the meantime, Kartikeya went abroad for studies and returned to nurse his father's constituency. So obviously he has political aspirations, but will he make his electoral debut this time? 6 months later when MP goes to polls? Mum is the word from both the father and the son. Poonam Mahajan, daughter of late Pramod Mahajan. She created history when she won Mumbai North Central Lok Sabha constituency in 2014. It was the first time ever that the BJP won that seat. She went on to win it again in 2019. Now you know Pramod Mahajan. He was to Atal Bihari Vajpayee what Amit Shah is to Narendra Modi today. Yet, this political legacy did not really help her political career. She had to fight her way up, starting with the Maharashtra unit of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and becoming its national president in 2016. about 10 years after she had taken the plunge into politics. A brilliant politician with proven organizational acumen. Poonam Mahajan must be wondering today, what more she must do to figure in Modi-Shah's scheme of things. Getting something in the government or in the party organization. Varun Gandhi, a three-term BJP MP who became the youngest ever National General Secretary in 2013, General Secretary of the party, must also be wondering why he fell out of favor with the High Command. His mother Menka Gandhi being in the Union Cabinet could have been a probable reason for Modi-Shah to give him the go-by earlier. He hasn't found favor with them even after his mother was left out of the cabinet in 2019. A sharp politician, gifted with intellect and wit, Varun seems to be losing his patience now. If you look at his tweets, the past few months, they aren't necessarily in sync with the party line. And many a time it seems like he's taking a completely contrarian approach to issues. Often he's very critical also, though in a very veiled way, not directly. But sometimes he sounds very critical of the government's policies. There are many other young dynasts in the BJP who may be wondering how long they must stand in the queue to get a look in. In some cases, reasons might look obvious. B.S. Yadurappa, Vasundhara Raje, Raman Singh, for instance, don't enjoy the best of relationship with the High Command. And so their children seem to be paying for their quote-unquote mistakes. Of course, one can argue here that Modi-Shah were not a great fan of former Himachal Pradesh CM Prem Kumar Dhumal, but they have been promoting his son, Anurag Thakur. Also, Utpal's late father, Manohar Parrikar, enjoyed Modi's confidence. Poonam Mahajan's late father might have been very close to Vajpayee, but she has been a Modi loyalist through and through. There is therefore no common thread that could explain why some dynasts make it big in Modi's party and government, while many others are consistently overlooked. If only Anurag Thakur could give them a tip or two. Before I wind up this episode of Politically Correct, I have an appeal to make. At ThePrint, we bring you news that matters. Our team of journalists and columnists get you the most comprehensive coverage. I request our readers and viewers to take a paid subscription. You can find the details below. Thank you so much for watching.